Hello friends, myself Ilangovan. So today we are going to see a seminar topic on jurisdiction of arbitral tribunal. So let's move on to the topic. First of all, what is arbitration? Arbitration is nothing but it is an alternative dispute resolution mechanism to resolve legal dispute outside the court of judiciary. It is both cost as well as time saving mechanism. So in this mechanism, the dispute will be decided by one or more person, that is arbitrators, who act as a neutral between the parties. They hear and decide dispute and render final decision called arbitration award, which is binding on both the parties and enforceable in the court of law. Thus, arbitral tribunal means a legal body consists of sole arbiters or a panel of arbiters who sit to resolve a dispute by way of arbitration. What is jurisdiction? Jurisdiction is nothing but it is the power of the court to hear the case, that is the competence of the tribunal to adjudicate a particular case. Okay, then comes to the next question. So what is the general jurisdiction of a arbitral tribunal? The general jurisdiction of an arbitral tribunal arises out of the arbitration agreement between the parties. In case if any party may raise objection plea as to the non-existence of arbitration agreement between them, then this issue can be decided as a primary issue by the arbitrator without going into the entire matter of dispute. Chapter 4 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 exclusively deal with the jurisdiction of the arbitration tribunal. So in this seminar we are going to deal exclusively with the chapter 4. Okay, let's move on to chapter 4. So what does the chapter 4 consist of? It consists of only two sections, section 16 and section 17. So section 16, it exclusively deals with the competency of the arbitral tribunal, and section 17, it deals with the interim measures ordered by the arbitral tribunal. So what is mean by interim measures? So interim measures is nothing but during pendency of an investigation, a temporary order is given to the party which is reasonable and intended to be valid till the final order. So interim order must be determined some part of the dispute referred to the arbitration. It cannot deal with any other matter between the parties. So let's move on to the section 16. So section 16 consists of 6 subsection. So first of all, we deal with the first subsection of the section 16. We read as the arbitral tribunal may rule on its own jurisdiction, including ruling on any objections with respect to the existence or validity of the arbitration agreement, and for that purpose an arbitration clause which form the part of a contract shall be treated as agreement independent of the other terms of a contract, and a decision by the arbitral tribunal that the contract is null and void shall not ipso jure the invalidity of the arbitration clause. So subsection 1 of 16 empowers the arbitral tribunal to make rule on its own jurisdiction, which means the arbitral tribunal power to determine its own jurisdiction is called competence competence, which means the law is competent to rule on its own sphere, and its jurisdiction includes any objection in respect to the existence or validity of the arbitration agreement, and this contains the principle of autonomy because it distinguishes arbitration clause from other classes in the agreement. That's an arbitration clause is independent of other terms of a contract, and the arbitral tribunal cannot invalidate an arbitration clause while invalidating the other classes of an agreement. And it starts with an expression that the arbitral tribunal may rule, which means it is the discretionary power of the arbitral tribunal to exercise its own jurisdiction or at the request of the party, but it cannot be compelled to exercise its jurisdiction. Let's see subsection 2 of section 16, which deals with when objection can be raised. The section reads as a plea that the arbitral tribunal doesn't have a jurisdiction shall be raised not later than the submission of statement of defense. However, a party shall not be precluded from raising such a plea merely because that he has appointed or participated in the appointment of an arbitrator. So subsection 2 of 16 provides that right of the parties to raise objection plea as to the jurisdiction before arbitration tribunal, but it restricts the rights by means it should be made before the submission of defense statement, and it also states that it can even raised even after he appoint or participated in the appointment of an arbitrator. In case Chetan versus Radhakishan, it was held that if arbitral tribunal enter upon the consideration of a matter when it has no jurisdiction between the parties, then it cannot derive jurisdiction by mere appearance of a party under protest. In such circumstances, a party is not stopped from challenging the eventual award of the tribunal under subsection 2 of 34, as the case may be held in. From this case, we can able to understand that if without jurisdiction, arbitral tribunal resolve dispute and award remedy, it is challengeable under subsection 2 of 34 of the Act. So let's move on to subsection 3 and 4 of section 16. Subsection 3 of section 16 states that as soon as the arbitral tribunal goes beyond the scope of its authority, objection can be raised while the arbitral proceeding are in the process. So this section enables the parties a right to raise objection whenever the arbitral tribunal goes beyond the scope of its authority. And in the context of subsection 4 of 16, it waives off the time limit provided if such delay is justified and reasonable. If a party raises an objection petition, delay if it provides reason which is reasonable means subsection 4 enables the petition to be accepted. Okay, let's see what amounts to be submission. When a party once appeared before the arbitrator and sought some extension of time for filing his written statement, this amounts to the submission of the jurisdiction of the arbitrator. Okay, in case when no reason is stated in arbitral award, where the basis of finding have not been given in the award, it is open to challenge on the ground that the arbitrator has arrived at a wrong conclusion or failed to appreciate the material on proper perspectives. However, the court has to determine the distinction between the error within the jurisdiction and the error in excess of the jurisdiction. So let's move on to section 17. Section 17 provides power to arbitrators to make an interim order which are necessary and also responsible at the request of the party. Subsection 1 of 17 reads as, at the request of the party, the arbitral tribunal order a party to take an interim measure of protection, as the arbitral tribunal may consider necessary of the subject matter of the dispute. Thus, arbitral tribunal cannot order an interim order on its own, that is suo motu, because it should be made only at the request of the party. Section 17 clause 2 provides that arbitral tribunal may require a party to provide appropriate security relating to the measures ordered by the arbitral tribunal. Thus, arbitral tribunal is competent to order interim measure to parties arised out of agreement, but it is not competent to order interim measure to affect the right of the parties who is not a party to such agreement. So let's see what is interim measures. So interim measures includes prevention or custody or sale of goods which are subject matter of the tribunal proceedings, and the protection of trade secret and property information. It also includes the recording of evidence which may not be available at the later stage of arbitral proceedings. Stabilization of the relationship of the party in a long-term project which might include the use or maintenance of the machine or works on the continuation of certain phase of construction if necessary to prevent irreplaceable harm. Subsection 2 of 37 of the Act makes provision that an order of a tribunal as to the interim order is appealable to the court. Thus, it is subject to judicial consideration. There is no bar to seek judicial enforcement of the interim measure under Section 9 of the Act. Thus, interim measure under Section 17 are very limited when compared to interim order granted by the court. Okay, these are the jurisdictions which are exercised by the arbitral tribunal under the Chapter 4 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. Thank you. Welcome.